Hey everybody, welcome to another Minisode for the Lonely Sluts podcast. I'm Claire.
And I'm Sarah.
And y'all sent us more questions, so we're going to talk about that. The first one is not so much a question, it's a demand. Rank your fave pets.
Does this mean the favorite, type of pet? Like, favorite type of animal to have as a pet? Or, literally out of the pets I have now, rank them?
Rank the pets you have.
Well, technically...
Because that's so much harder.
Technically, the only pet that is mine is my cat, Pika. So she's the number one by default. Some days she's not, which is sad for her because she's the only one. But now that I'm moving in with my brother and his fiance in Pittsburgh, their dog will be there, Ted, and he's got a loud personality. So I don't know. I guess Pika would rank higher than him just because I'm closer to her and I can easily cuddle her, whereas he is this giant force of nature that is difficult to cuddle. What about your pets?
So I personally do not have any pets that I live with, but my dad has 3 dogs and a cat, and I have opinions. My first favorite is the cat. His name is Flapjack, and I love him. My second favorite would probably be Waylon. He is a pit bull, and he wants to be a lap dog so bad.
I love your
He's
dad's
too big.
pit bulls.
Me too. Then I would go Willie. Willie is a ditch dog. He's a mutt. He's part shepherd, we think. He's got a spot around his eye. He's white. He looks like a mutt. But I love him, but he's kind of a dick sometimes. He runs away and just is so happy about it. And we're like, okay. And then my least favorite, the fourth pet in this ranking would be Chewbacca. He's a Shih Tzu, and he belongs to my stepsister technically, but he lives at my father's house, and he is too small, and he has a skin fungus, and he has to have a special bath every 2 days, otherwise he starts smelling.
Oh, no.
And his skin changes color. And he's high maintenance, and he's old, and he's grumpy, and I feel bad for him, but he's kind of gross.
Interesting.
So there's that. Okay. The next question is, when you both become famous podcasters, how do you plan to change the podcast community?
That's a hard question for me because I don't really listen to podcasts. And so I feel like I'm not in the podcast community, so I don't know what it needs changing. I don't know what aspects could be improved.
I would say that we don't talk to anybody else who has a podcast, but I would say that there's a lot of focus on true crime podcasts. Mm-hmm. Everybody likes to talk about murder, which is a little dark. I listen to a number of murder podcasts. Up and Vanished, I really like. Y'all should all listen to that. I also listened to one called In the Dark that I really liked. Those are both crime podcasts where they're trying to solve cold cases, and in both of those there have been a break in the case since they've started, so that's kind of interesting. But I think there's so much more you can do. I've started listening to a bunch of podcasts by Dak Shepard is doing one called Armchair Expert, where he interviews a bunch of people, and I'm listening to them out of order. I listened to the one with him and Esther Perel. Esther Perel is a psychologist, and I don't think that's even right, but she's involved with psychology and therapy and relationships and sex, and she is really well known, and she has a profoundly different way of looking at things like marriage. A lot of her work is on infidelity and recovery from that. And I followed her podcast, which is literally she does a therapy session with a couple, and you listen to that. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm really excited. So I think that my goal, if I were to change the podcast community, would be to make it more versatile. I'm also listening to a podcast about like Duolingo has a podcast in Spanish where it's like teaching Spanish. And I don't think it's like what podcasts are out there is the problem. I think people are just listening to like one kind. I think people are like, there's so much. It's like there's so many resources and you can get them for free. Like it's all on Apple Podcasts. And like I don't pay for any of that. And I am learning all this stuff. So I think it's more about people understanding what's out there. You can learn everything.
I know there's so many people are able to create content now and like content that is catered to their interests. And there's so many different interests and hobbies and things out there. So I feel like we need to branch out. Just in general, in life.
So there's that. The next question.
Speaking of murder.
Speaking of murder, the next question is, what's your fave scary movie?
That's a tough question. I actually really like scary movies. But I say that, and I haven't actually watched any genuinely scary movies in a while. The last scary movie that truly freaked me out, was Us. Us really freaked me out. I thought it was so good, though. It was so good. Jordan Peele's Us was really good. Get Out by him is also really good. Sinister, that one's really good as well. That one really freaks me out because anytime there's like creepy children and demons and all of that, it just really is weird and creepy for me. The Conjuring I thought was good as well. Those are probably some of my favorites. Us right now is probably like honestly one of my favorite scary movies.
I hate scary movies. I live my life with such a level of anxiety that the tension within a scary movie is not enjoyable for me, like ever. My favorite scary movie, I did see The Sixth Sense and I did like it.
That's something.
I tend to avoid all of them on purpose. I can't. It's not enjoyable. I like my media to be light or educational.
The Sixth Sense just made me sad, in all honesty.
It did, but I liked it because it wasn't
like super, super scary. It was kind of more like
nobody was
drama.
Gonna get me. Yeah.
It was good.
Okay. I like a thriller, but I don't want to feel threatened.
I do like psychological thrillers, like Zodiac. I really liked Zodiac. And just other films like that, I guess.
Okay. Next question. What are the best online clothing stores besides ASOS or whatever?
That's hard. I feel like I just go to stores that I already shop at in person, and then I just go to their websites. But I will say lately I have been shopping on Lulu's just because I've needed a lot of nicer, like either wedding guest dresses or to look at some bridesmaid dresses or just like nicer.
Or wedding dresses. You're getting married.
Or my wedding
repeatedly.
Dress, yeah. And so I just wanted some nicer tops and like nicer dresses and stuff. So I've been going to Lulu's. But other than that, I can't really think of anything.
I have a handful on Instagram. Like they're all like Vici Dolls was recommended to me by somebody I work with yesterday. I haven't bought anything from them, but they're really cute. That's VICIDOLLS on Instagram. Local Eclectic is a jewelry shop. I bought my birthstone ring from them. They're hella expensive. Lulu's, you already said. Riff Raff, it's Shop Riff Raff. They're an Instagram store that I have yet to spend a lot of money at, but I really would like to. Shop Girls Crew is another jewelry store that's a little bit less expensive than Local Eclectic, but similar style. I'm looking at buying another ring from them. And Roolee, Roolee, is another online Instagram clothing store. And then I spent a lot of money at this other one called Belle Lily, but it's 100% that like stuff from China that you're like, this is $4, but we're taking a gamble. And I would say like 40% of the stuff I got, well, let's see, I bought like 4 tops and 1 dress. And the tops are all wearable. 2 of them are not what I thought they were, but I'm like, they're fine. And then the dress just is made for the weirdest proportioned human who's ever existed. So that's a gamble, and there's no returning them. So there's that. Okay, Sarah, the next question is top mixed drinks. What are your top mixed drinks?
Always a G&T. I am a G&T girl down to my core. I love gin and tonics. It's hard for...
What about, like, something fancy? Like, do you do, like, I say a marg, like, that's fancy.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, that's a mixed drink. Like a margarita or, like, a pina colada. Because I like both those.
I do not like pina coladas, actually. I don't like them because...
I love pina coladas.
I like coconut, but I don't like that artificially... Like, I don't like that fake coconut, if that makes any sense. Like, the artificial, like...
You know what I like?
Know. What do you like?
I like pineapple juice and Malibu rum with crushed ice.
That actually sounds really good.
It's so good. It's a great pool drink.
Ooh.
I like to do the ice in the blender and then put all that in there. It's quality. It's like a poor man's pina colada.
I have.
But I would also say.
Oh, I was gonna say I have been making like wine smoothies a lot lately. With just like mixed berries and a sweeter wine, so like a Moscato or a Riesling. I do like those, and it makes me feel healthy because I'm like like a mango and strawberry and like pineapple went into this.
Fruit. No, I would say gin and tonic as well. I also have started drinking Tom Collins because they're basically lemonade with vodka, so that's cool. Yeah, that's it. Okay, this next question is a little juicier. And I'm going to have a really disappointing answer. How many times have you woken up in someone else's place unintentionally?
I have to think. I would say twice, I think. 2 times? How many times did...
I would say 0 times.
Wah, wah.
I knew my answer was going to be like disappointing. Well, here's the thing. I do everything intentionally. No, just kidding. I just make a plan. Like I don't go home with strangers. I bring them to my house so they know where I live so they can kill me later. Yeah, no, I 0 times.
I'm like,
what are the settings for your 2 times?
I'm just going out with friends and then just, things ending in a different place than expected. I
don't know. I plan to stay at people's houses. I've really just, I don't think I've ever slept anywhere that I didn't know I was sleeping.
Like, I woke up in a friend of a friend's place and I was like, how did I get here? Like, just the night takes you further than you could ever dream.
Thus far, I've landed where I've planned to land every
time.
time.
I mean, that's the goal. That's always the goal.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. Ooh, this one can get a little deep, I feel. How has our perceptions of relationships evolved since high school? Let's give this a Spark Notes answer because I think this could be a whole thing.
I don't even know where to begin, in all honesty. High school me was so, I don't know, it was so teenagery. It was very much I can't even begin to describe. I think I've gotten a lot chiller, if that makes any sense. A lot less high maintenance with regards to they need to talk to me every day, or if they're not talking to me then they don't like me, and blah blah blah, and they can't talk to that person because I think they might like them too. Just being very needy and reading into things a lot more than necessary in high school, whereas going through college and graduating college and living life now, I just feel like I take it more easy.
I would agree, but in a little bit of a different sense. I don't think I ever was they need to text me 24/7. They can't be talking to other people. I never really felt that way. I also never dated anybody except for casually a couple people. But
Me neither.
Yeah. Well, I was okay. So prom for my senior year of high school has been coming up on my memories on Facebook and all that good stuff. And I was looking at the pictures, and it was me and the guy I was going out with senior year. And first off, we look so cute. We look so good, and we look so happy. And I thought about like tweeting about it, and I was like, oh my God, I wish I looked as happy as I was for my senior prom, like every day, or like at least ever again. Like I was so happy. And I thought about tweeting it, but I didn't because I realized that my senior prom date follows me on Twitter, and I didn't want to be weird about it. Because I broke up with him senior year of high school because I put too much pressure on what we were doing. Like, we had been going out, like, we had been talking since, like, probably February. Because I have a very strong memory of Valentine's Day that year. He was not really a part of it. I was just thinking about prom. Anyway. But, like, and then, yeah, probably February through, like, early June, and then he wanted me to be his official girlfriend, and I broke up with him because I freaked out because I was like, we're gonna have to break up in August if we don't break up now, so what's the point? Which is so stupid. I got so far ahead of myself, and I think now that even if I knew that he was gonna, like, if I was dating somebody and they were gonna move in August, but I liked them, I was like, well, might as well hang out with them now. And then, like, I think I've taken, like, some of the pressure. I just like to I think I've learned to take things a little bit less seriously, which is crazy because I'm still so intense. Like, it's hard to imagine that 18-year-old me was even more intense than 24-year-old me, but she was.
I know. I think I had more feelings, like, with regards specifically to romantic relationships and intentions as a high schooler than I do now, which is weird because I had nothing going on in high school. So
mine's a case-by-case basis because I have different feelings about different boys.
The wrong boys.
Okay. I guess. All right, so this next question, I love that this got asked because, oh my God, you're going to think I'm the nerdiest person in the world about this. This question says, what's it? Or it doesn't say what. It just says, talk about the difference between boys and girls rating scales. And this is like what, like on a scale of 1 to 10, if you were to look at a boy and you were to rate him, what would you use to, like, what traits would you use to rate him and how would that affect it? And then, like, for boys, what do you think that they rate girls? Like, what's their criteria?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm assuming this is just going off of looks and stuff, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for, like, girls looking at guys that they're interested in, I think it's definitely, like, face, like, facial features and like, jawline yeah. and all of that stuff, maybe beard or not, how, like, toned and athletic they are, hair, and height as well.
Height. I would say girls look at height and face, where boys look at body.
Yeah, boys are definitely, like, in my head, it's like straight to boobs and ass. Tits and ass. TNA for the guys.
TNA.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say I think my eyes go straight to kind of like smiling. Like if a person's smiling, I like to see their smile. And then also obviously like I take in how tall they are first thing as well.
Okay. So on this topic, do you want to hear the nerdiest, possibly most embarrassing thing I've ever done that I'm about to out myself for? I'm a girl who loves some data, okay? I spend my life trying to quantify things that can't be quantified. I want love by the numbers, baby, and that's not a thing that happens. But, so I was at dinner with some friends who are all guys, and we were talking about, like, the average, and I was like, we were like rating somebody. I don't even remember who it was, but I was like, he's like a 5, and they were like, no, he is not. And I was like, yeah, he is. He's average. He's exactly average. He's a 5. And they were like, the average is not 5. And so we each like went through our dating apps. We just were on Tinder, and we swiped through 15 people, each of us, and took the average, and the average ended up being around 5, right? And that was just like, I did 15 and each of them did 15, but they were looking at girls. And I was like, I wonder what the real average actually is. So do you know what I did?
Did some research.
I made an Excel spreadsheet.
You nerd!
Yeah. So I downloaded Bumble again for this experiment. I have Tinder, I have Hinge, I have Bumble. I went through 100 profiles
Holy
on
moly.
each app. Yeah, it didn't take that long. I then entered like all the numbers into an Excel spreadsheet, and here are the results. On Tinder, the app, this is 100% based off of my arbitrary ratings. Like, it's not consistent criteria for this, but nobody's gonna friggin' fact check me anyway. So the average rating on Tinder, I gave guys a 4.03. The mode was 4, and I also calculated this too. I only swiped right on 6
100?
guys out of the
Wow.
100 guys. But I matched with all 6 of them, which is a 100% match to swipe ratio.
On the scale do they have to be for you to swipe right? Okay.
5 or higher.
Yeah, like their bio.
There's
and
other
stuff.
factors.
Yeah.
Like 5 is average. Yeah. Okay, next I looked at Hinge. The average for Hinge is a little bit higher. It's 4.7. The mode is 5. I liked 3 guys out of the 100, and I matched with 0
That's
of
a
them.
bummer.
Yeah. And then Bumble. The average rating was the highest on Bumble. It was 4.76. The mode was still 5. I liked 9 guys on Bumble, which is the highest like ratio. And then during the time that I was like focused on making this, I didn't match with any of them. Later, I matched with 2 of them, but still 2 out of 9 isn't great.
So this data tells me
it's 22%.
Download Bumble.
Yeah, but like that's what it says, but I still hate Bumble. I messaged some dude the ice cream question on Bumble last night, and he was like, I don't know, my favorite ice cream is chocolate. And I'm like, bitch, that's not the question I asked. So you're stupid? Is that what you're telling me?
Is that what you're saying?
He was like, what's your favorite ice cream? And I'm like, my favorite ice cream is irrelevant. What ice cream am I? Anyway.
Oh, my favorite ice cream is irrelevant, boys. It needs to describe me.
So you didn't think I'd have some data on that, but I sure did. Okay, the next thing, this was suggested for us to talk about. This is 100% an inside joke with me and my college roommates. It says pandy nannies. Nope, it doesn't.
I was wondering, okay, because we had run through these questions really quickly before we started recording, and you told me the story, like a really quick Spark Notes version of the story, and you said it the different way. But I was reading it, and I was like, it's not how she says that it's written. And I was very confused.
Okay, it is written. This is why it's funny. And it's not going to be funny to anyone, so I don't know why I'm including this on here, except for at Tori. You'll hear this. Panda nannies. One day, me and my roommates were all home, and we were doing face masks and drinking, and we were watching a documentary on pandas, as one does. And I don't even remember what I was trying to say, but I was trying to comment on like how great it would be to be a panda nanny. But I accidentally said pandy nanas, and we all laughed so hard that I peed. And I just thought that I would put that on the internet. This is a really embarrassing minisode
research
for me,
about
apparently.
dating apps and pees herself. Two things you need to know about Claire.
This is why my life has turned out the way it has. Okay, that's not a typical thing, but like if you say pandy nana, I'm like paralyzed by laughter, and it doesn't. Oh god!
If I say that 3 times in a mirror quickly, will you
think
appear?
about that? Yes. If you go pandy nana, pandy nana, poof. That's me.
That's exciting.
Okay. Yeah. This last one could potentially be a whole episode. It says thoughts on dating different astrological signs, experiences, looking at you, see. I think we should do this as a full episode, or at least a full minisode. I don't want to cut this short. I will say that I'm a Virgo.
Yes, I am an
Sarah,
Aries.
you're an Aries. I very much identify with Virgo. All the traits are very on brand for me. Sarah, do you have thoughts
like when you see the
your Aries?
stereotypical Aries stuff, like the hot-headed, spontaneous risk taker stuff, doesn't super fit my vibe. I think I can be hot-headed, but I'm definitely not spontaneous risk taker. I do not like spontaneity. So that part I never really felt like clicked with me, but you know, I was born in March, so that happens.
Okay. Well, like as far as like dating them, I've had a thing for multiple Pisces and a thing for multiple Virgos, which is interesting because they're on opposite sides. Like I'm a Virgo and Pisces is the direct opposite. It's a water sign and it's like opposite on the zodiac, and I'm an earth sign. And then Virgo compatibility is supposed to be shit. Virgo Pisces compatibility is supposed to be like hit or miss. I had a thing. T-shirt was a Scorpio, and he is a Scorpio. And football is a Capricorn, and he is very Capricorn. And Capricorns and Virgos are very similar, so I think I might like to date another Capricorn. But I mean, I'm not going to like look up somebody's birth chart.
What's the opposite across from an Aries? Do you know?
I have to look it up.
I gotta be honest, I don't know if I know anyone's that I've like talked to or been seeing. Like, I don't know if I know anyone's astrological. A Libra?
Libra. Oh, high school was a Libra. My high school dude was a Libra.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anyone's. I know my friends. Like, obviously I know yours. You just said it, but I know yours, and I know like my close friends because we just like talk and joke about them sometimes. But I don't know any of the peoples that I've ever like been talking with, like theirs. So,
well, I think I have a book called Sextrology. So I think we'll do a podcast about astrology and dating, all that good stuff, and we can look up Sarah's ex-somebodies, and we can look into mine a little bit deeper, and it'll be really fun.
I think it's fun stuff to look into. I just don't know anything about it.
So, so stay tuned for that. As far as what we have for this week, that's pretty much it.
It was a pretty long minisode, but
Sarah, do you have anything to add?
It was good. I'm so glad that people are still sending in like comments and questions and things for us to talk about, because it really does fuel these minisodes. So thank you for that.
Because we usually actually put a decent amount of research into the podcast, and then the minisodes were just like, all right, Lego. Oh wait, I got another one. I got another question right now. Do we do it?
We can take out and post if we don't like it.
Okay. What's cuter? Booping, like nose booping, or unconsensual hand holding? Well, I have an answer, and these are both based off of personal experiences.
Bad, but I hate booping.
Booping is cuter. That's the answer. Unconsensual hand holding is stupid. Yeah, exactly. Booping is also unconsensual, but it's also shorter and a little bit less disregarding body autonomy. And okay, he's referencing the guy I went out with in high school. We went to a movie, and he booped me on the nose, and that stuck with me, and I didn't like it, and it was like one of the reasons I was like, we have to break up.
Doing that in a serious way to me.
No, it was totally. I mean, like I was like 18, and it was a joke, but it bothered me. I've never been. Who seriously booped somebody?
I heard that he seriously booped her.
And Yeah, he seriously booped her. She's in the hospital. No, just kidding. Okay, if you have an opinion on what's cuter, unconsensual hand-holding or booping, let us know. Drop a comment, send us a DM. We are at The Lonely Sluts on Twitter and Instagram. We also are thelonelysluts@gmail.com. We want to know your opinions. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you. We appreciate your questions. And tune in next week for a full-length episode. Thanks.
Bye.